Grenade by Alan Gratz, Part 1, pages 51 through 56. Ray. Barbecue. Ray sat apart from the other Marines, watching them laugh and talk as they ate barbecued pig. His squad had met up with the rest of Easy Company, strength in numbers as they set up camp for the night. From the safety of their foxholes, they were all sharing in the feast Ray had prepared. He was the man of the hour, but he didn't feel much like celebrating. He just watched Billy Lineker get shot in front of him. So had the other men in Ray's squad. How could they be joking and enjoying barbecue just a few hours later? Sergeant Meredith sat down on the edge of Ray's foxhole. "You did good today," Sergeant Meredith said. "Flushing that sniper out?" Flushing that 12-year-old boy out, Ray thought. That little kid. "You okay with it?" the sergeant asked. "The sniper? I guess," Ray said. As surprising as it was that the sniper was just a kid, Ray understood why they'd had to kill him. This was a war. It was kill or be killed, and the kid had killed one of theirs. But the way Big John had done it, so easily, so casually. But that wasn't even what was bothering him the most about that day. "And hard luck?" Sergeant Meredith said, as though he could read Ray's mind. Ray huffed. "I don't understand." He raised his chin at the other men. "Don't they care?" "They do care, yes," said the sergeant. "So do I. But it's fate. Either you have a bullet or a mortar or a grenade with your name on it, or you don't. That bullet finds you and we mourn, but we have to move on. Nothing else we can do." "But it just seems so heartless," Ray said. "It is," Sergeant Meredith allowed. "But Marines like me and Big John and the old man, this ain't our first rodeo. We've seen a lot of good men die. If we mourned every one of them the way they should be mourned, we'd go crazy." The sergeant rubbed a callus on his palm, the same place Ray's rifle had given him blisters during basic training. "We had to let our skins harden up so we don't feel it as much. We can't, or it'd hurt too bad. You ever see a guy with that 1,000-yard stare? You know it's getting to him." Ray had seen that stare before in his father's eyes, like he was focused on something a long way off that nobody else could see. Ray knew that's when his pa had been remembering his time in the First World War. Over in his foxhole, the old man was doing it now. "Starks, grab me a hunk of that pig, will you?" Sergeant Meredith called to him. The old man shook himself out of the stare and grinned. "Sure, Sergeant." Sergeant Meredith glanced at Ray, and Ray understood. Their lieutenant found them and told Sergeant Meredith that scouts had reported a possible enemy cave nearby. "Send a team to check it out while we've still got some daylight," the lieutenant said. The sergeant saluted and called Big John over. "Big John, take Gonzalez and Barbecue here and a couple of the other rookies and show 'em the ropes." And just like that, Ray had a nickname: Barbecue. The cave was a quarter of a mile away from camp, very close to a steep cliff that ran a long way down to the sea, where waves crashed against big rocks. It was a natural cavern with rock walls and a dirt floor. The entrance was about half as tall as Ray, and overgrown with moss. It was pitch black, just a foot or two inside. There was no telling how far it went back into the hillside or if anybody was hiding inside. "Is something going in there?" Gonzalez asked. "You kidding?" Big John said. "We're going to flush him out. Rifles ready." Big John took a grenade from his belt, pulled the pin, and chucked it inside. Ray raised his rifle to his shoulder and aimed at the entrance. Boom! The explosion shook the ground and smoke billowed out from the entrance. Inside, there were screams. Ray's heart raced and he shuffled his feet nervously. Suddenly, people came streaming out from the cave and Ray's finger tightened on the trigger. But it was a woman holding a baby. And the next target Ray swung to was a little boy, then an old man. "Wait, wait!" Ray cried. "They're Okinawans! Civilians!" The Okinawans kept coming. 10, 15, 20. Ray lost count. He watched as the people ran away screaming from the Marines. They went straight for the edge of the cliff and raced back and forth along the edge of it, looking down like they were trying to find some path to escape. But Ray and the other Marines had walked along that ridge to get here. It was just a long fall into the rocks and trees. The grenade going off must have spooked them, Ray thought. He fished out his Japanese phrase book and tried to find something that would calm them down. Hidoi, koto washimasen, he tried, walking closer. We're not going to hurt you, he said in English. The women and children wailed as Ray got closer, sobbing like it was the end of the world, and Ray wondered if he was saying it wrong. Then the whole lot of them stepped off the cliff. Ray blinked and his stomach dropped. 1 second they had been huddled there in fear, and the next moment they were just gone. No! Ray cried. There was no way they could have survived the fall. Jumpin' Jehoshaphat, Big John whispered. Why in the name of God would they do that? Gonzalez asked. None of them had the answer. Ray double-checked his phrase book. He hadn't said anything wrong. But for some reason, the Okinawans had been so terrified of him and the other Marines that they had killed themselves rather than be captured. Well, better that than one of them coming out with a grenade and trying to blow us up, Big John said. Let's make sure there ain't any more of them in there, and then get back and get us some more of that pig before it's gone. Ray followed Big John into the cave, but he wouldn't be eating any more barbecue tonight. Ray had lost his appetite.